Hello, everyone. This is the weekly meeting of the Phrancko Sweater Knitters, and it's a really fun knitting group that gets together every week at 2:30 Pacific time every Saturday. You're welcome to come join us if you see this video and want to participate and maybe learn something about Phrancko sweaters, or maybe just share your work and enjoy visiting with the rest of these wonderful people. With that, let me greet everyone. Hi, Nick.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Ron.
Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Hi, Susan.
Hello.
Hi, Sumner.
Hey.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sidra.
Hey, Frank.
Hi, Sung.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Will.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, everyone.
I barely made it here in time. We were at a restaurant a half hour ago and had to get a Uber to get us home, and it barely made it. So I've been running around. I might be a little out of breath just having gotten everything together to be able to sit here and knit with you. How are you all?
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Good.
We're
Oh,
good.
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 Susan, I hear you're taking a fabulous trip.
I am in August. I'm taking lots of trips this year, but the knitting fabulous trip is in August. I'm gonna go to Shetland, but with a knitting tour group. But I thought since I was going to be in that area, and since the best flight for me is direct Phoenix to London, that I should just fly to London, spend a few days there, maybe going to a few yarn shops and go to the British Museum, of course. And I have tickets to Twelfth Night at the Globe Theatre, and then take a train up to Edinburgh, where I'll join the tour, and we'll do all the Shetland things. But it's not during Wool Week, so it's not going to be like all the amazing Shetland things. It's going to be the leftover stuff.
Susan, I'm also planning to go to that production of Twelfth Night at the Globe. We're going to be
Really?
Yeah, we're going to Europe in July, and we're going to spend 3 or 4 days in London and go see that production. We haven't bought the tickets yet, but we're going to.
So, because I'm there in, like, I think my tickets are for August 24th. You're probably going to be gone by then.
Yeah, we'll be gone by then. We'll be back.
Yeah. I signed up. I mean, like, I'm kind of a nut about that sort of thing. So I signed up for the tour too. I thought,
Cool.
oh, it started out with my daughter said, oh, you have to do the Globe Theater tour. And I said, oh, of course I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then she said, wouldn't it be fun to see a play while you were there?
Yeah.
Like,
It is
oh.
it's a fabulous theatre.
It is.
So I
It's
just went
absolutely fabulous.
lower box, right in the center seat.
Cool.
Actually, I thought it was, I don't want to say cheap, but it was inexpensive compared to US theater tickets.
Yeah.
Especially for I'm not an East Coast person, but I'm aware of the prices. But even for here in Phoenix, a good seat is more than I paid for this fabulous seat.
Yeah.
I think in general, UK, the prices in the West End are cheaper than Broadway and that sort of thing. I think theatre tickets are generally cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to the theater all the time in New York, and we always sit in the mezzanine, and it's $1,000 for two people.
Oh my
Yeah.
No.
And this
No.
was
Wow.
120 pounds.
Yeah.
So I was shocked. And I think that included the tour. Maybe it was
Yeah.
130 pounds with the tour.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's $400 a ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to check, while you're here, you said the British Museum, check out the V&A, the Victoria and Albert Museum, because that's all textiles.
I do want to go there, and I'm actually going to have to do some more research on that. But I'm going to one of the V&As, but it's in Scotland, so obviously we'll have different collection. But is there more than one location in London?
They're likely to.
anyway, I'll be looking all that up and trying to figure out which one I want, make sure I go to the right one, because I can get myself confused and do the wrong thing.
Sorry, I'm having internet problems. I live on a boat. What do I expect?
Ron, how was
Yeah.
H&H?
H&H was lovely. I just got back. I slid out of the airport in Bakersfield and had them drop me off here at the yarn store.
Oh,
In time to rescue Tim from customers.
Did you have a booth?
No, we were there
Okay.
as shoppers. We were shopping for the shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I don't really do any wholesale of our house yarn stays here. But yes, we had a great time at H&H. There was so much to see, including things that we just like completely out of our wheelhouse, tons of quilting fabrics and the sewing machines and these things. But we met up with a lot of folks we know that we haven't seen in a long time. We got to stop and have a chat with Arenda. That was nice.
Oh,
Wow.
So we got to catch up with Arenda. That was good. And lots of industry folk I hadn't seen in several years, because it's been a while since TNA went away. And then for the last 2 years that H&H has had an American show, it just hasn't worked out for me and Heidi to go. So we did see a lot. I think something you're going to see a lot of coming up in this next couple seasons is a lot of brushed textured yarns coming in from smaller mills and the medium-sized independent dyers, the people who've like graduated from their kitchen sink but have like medium. A lot of people are releasing a new brushed, often mohair but often not yarns. So those textured fuzzy yarns seem to be making a comeback as tweed yarns are being left behind. So
oh, I like it.
yeah, it seems that like the days of the very bright variegated yarns, the only people really still doing that are small independent dyers. Like the wild variegated yarns and the speckles are sort of out of fashion now. And tweeds were big for a minute, but they seem to be making way for brushed yarns and some bouclés as well. So those kind of fuzzy textured things.
what does brushed yarn look like? What is that?
It is what is often called a mohair yarn,
Oh,
even if it's not made of mohair. A fine yarn that's all brushed out, so it's fuzzy. In several ways. We've seen some larger weights of those. They're generally like listed as a lace weight or a worsted weight, because you generally knit them on like a 4.5 millimeter to get open work, or you can knit a dense fabric out of them. And then a bouclé is that treatment that hasn't been brushed.
is that
So
right?
it's fuzzy like teddy bear skin.
Yeah.
So that's what we saw a lot of
Wow.
offerings from these places. Yeah, I'm still collecting my wits. I was in my hotel in Chicago at 6 this morning, and now I'm here with all of you.
Are you back in Chicago, son?
No, I'm still in New York, but I hope to go next year. I think it's May 6th through 8th. And I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna go because I'll be back in Chicago permanently.
Uh-huh.
Next year, they are having a retail show.
What does that mean?
That for like non-shop owners, people who aren't making wholesale orders, like general yarn consumers. So there'll be a retail show in the Stevens Center the same, like a few days prior to the trade show. So you should look into that.
Well, my friends went because they are a member of TKGA, and we also taught at a cultural center. So we fit into that educational.
Yeah.
So they were able to get a ticket, free ticket. And so I will be going as, in that group.
Right.
So they were able to get in. Yes.
Yeah.
They had such a great time. They were so excited.
There's a lot to see. There's an awful lot going on. And I'm interested to see how the retail show goes as well.
Oh, wow. So next year will be the first year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a general
are you
to the
going
public
next year?
Come and buy yarn.
Are you going next year?
Barring misfortune, yeah.
Okay. I might see you.
Yeah.
I might see you. Okay.
We'll
Great.
certainly meet up if
Nice to know.
Can I ask a mohair question? So, and this one might be for Ron. So, because you just have this show with brushed yarns and mohair. So, there's a school of thought that if you carry mohair along other yarn, like alongside, and you knit them together, like, say, just a regular woolen spun yarn, that it would tend to pill less because the mohair kind of protects the fiber from friction, because the mohair has a higher halo.
the mohair certainly does have a higher halo. It would certainly prevent the base yarn from getting friction on it to cause it to pill, unless over time that would get worn off in places like the underarms and elbows, just the same as any yarn, because the only like one end of each hair. So eventually you could shed all of your brushed yarn and get down to, like, if something's going to go threadbare, it's going to go threadbare, but it would take longer with mohair on there, certainly.
Because it's also going to add warmth without weight because it's airy, right? So,
no way.
So now being in New Hampshire, I could wear sweaters year round, Our 4 seasons are winter and the 4th of July. And that's it.
Oh boy.
July's perfect for a nice summer sweater.
Although I tell you, we just planted grass 2 weeks ago. And we could have planted rice. Wow, do they have a mud season up here? They are not kidding. Like ankle deep.
Oh,
Yeah, it's something.
in your yard?
Yeah, if you now it doesn't really pool because there's a nice slope and stuff, but there are culverts all over the place to move water, and I am not in a flood zone. Apparently I am in a mud zone. Now I'm still loving it, but I will have to get used to a little bit of it. It's a little bit different than where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Do you have a mud room?
That would be the house, everything under the roof. Kidding. So everyone kind of has a foyer, like, or a bigger part of the living room that you don't put anything in.
It shocked me just now that you said foyer. You usually pronounce French loanwords so en français, and then you said foyer.
Well, everyone has a foyer.
Not a character for you.
Yeah, everyone has a foyer, and that's what they call it, right? So,
shocked.
But it's literally for like hat trees and boots and mud trays. And I'm like, really? why didn't I know this? But we're seeing the sun for the first time in 10 days.
Wow.
Sumner, I've
We
just
got our first 100-degree day.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever see that. So thank goodness.
98 here. Not quite 100, but pretty close. 98.
Wow. Yeah, it was 40 this morning. 40.
This morning I was
That's
in
Fahrenheit,
Chicago.
not centigrade.
Yes, that's Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Nick and I were talking about temperatures earlier.
Yep.
Sumner, I've just
That's what they don't have.
I've just knitted up a swatch of exactly what you were talking about, which was a lace weight yarn that's a single ply with a mohair, and it's come up absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm not sure you can see this, but it's come out really lovely, drapey, and I can't tell you whether it will do anything, whether it will stop the mohair from pilling or whatever, but it's come up. I was really pleased with it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So I can vouch for actually doing it, but whether it saves anything or not, I don't know.
What's the base?
But it's come up. One was a BC Garn. They're based in Denmark, and it was a single lace weight. I can't remember. What was it called? Loch Lomond lace, and the other was a Rowan kid silk mohair.
Okay.
And I didn't know, I'd never knit with mohair really, so I thought, well, what shall I do with this? And I thought I'd do a swatch, and I was really pleased with it. I don't think I'd wear it as a jumper. It might be a bit too fluffy for me, but it's come up really lovely. I was really pleased with the drape and the texture of it. So I can vouch for actually holding the two yarns together. It's lovely.
Nice. Yeah, Ron got me a beautiful, like 100% Corriedale, and it is the most buttery yarn to knit with. I just love it. But I think the next go round with that yarn, I want to put mohair with it.
Yeah.
To kind of protect the pilling, because it does pill.
One of the things I noticed, and I was looking on YouTube, I can't remember where it was saying, but they were talking about combining two different yarns together. And you've got to go very careful about the contrast of the two yarns, because if one's a lot lighter than the other, you'll get real definition where one of the yarns sits at the back of the V and then it comes to the front of the V. And it's almost like pooling, but it in my mind, it looks awful. So you need to get the two colours fairly similar. So
close.
It gives you that, they've got to be close. Don't make them too far apart. Because they really jar against each other in stocking net.
Well, that's great advice. And Kids OK's has to come in 75 different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's good advice. Thank you. But boy,
when done intentionally, this is referred to as marling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think this was more. I don't even want to say accidental. It looked like a mistake. It was so obvious where they'd used a very dark color and then a white mohair. There were just strands of white coming to the front and then going to the back, and it wasn't like marling. It was just jarring, I think, more than anything else. Especially on a flat stocking net surface. It didn't look good in my eyes.
Okay. Well, good advice.
I guess it depends on your taste, because I made some berets like that a couple of years ago when the mohair is green and I use that Isier Tavini, I don't know how you pronounce it, that Danish yarn that's brown.
Oh, I love that.
But
that's lovely.
It just depends on what you like, really.
Maggie, it looked nothing like that, what I was talking about. That was lovely.
Maggie, hold it up again.
Oh, okay.
And hold it very still.
Okay.
It keeps moving, it doesn't focus, but now we can see it. Excellent.
Oh yeah, Maggie, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Great.
thanks.
I like that.
That's a Sorry Nordland beret pattern.
And that's about the look that I want on the fabric. Because
Uh-huh.
boy, that yarn, like Ron, and thank you again. That yarn is it's so
Mhm.
enjoyable. But I want a little bit of something with it to give it some, like it pills, right? Which whatever, it's okay. I would still knit with it again in a minute, you know.
Yeah, you might also try fulling, or in the yarn may work well for you if you full the finished product. More steps for your swatching, of course, but you could intentionally felt it up.
Oh, I see.
Tell
Okay.
us what fulling is, Ron.
Um, Somewhere between wool that is not felted and wool that is felted is wool that has been fulled.
Uh,
So applied heat, moisture, agitation, just enough for the fibers to start to cling together slightly, but not to the point where they become felt.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think the mohair also might prevent a little felting. But hey, well, I'll tell you. I'll let you know.
Did you finish your sweater, Sidra?
I did. I just wove in the ends.
Oh, well, let's see.
Oh,
So
look at that.
yeah, so
Isn't
beautiful.
that nice?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Oh, wow.
They-
Very nice.
Well, that the waist is beautiful.
And then I started a tank top that is a satiny yarn that I got from Ron. And see if I can get this out here. Anyhow, this is the right side. So it's kind of hard to see right now, but
Oh, nice. Very nice.
and then this is the pattern for it. Also Jody Long pattern. So
Yeah,
Wasn't
Oh,
that
nice.
very nice. Yeah.
So when I was swatching it, I thought it was done in the round. And
Oh,
this looks really weird. I mean, it would work. Actually, I think it would actually work. But then I'm going, you're supposed to end on the wrong side, and I don't understand. There's no wrong side on in the round. And I'm going, oh crap. Okay, so I, took it all out, and then I did my swatch, and here's my swatch right here.
Jody Long loves to knit things flat. It's a very traditional English knitter thing.
Yeah.
We have from his mouth that he finds our fixation on knitting things in the round to be a defect of the American conscience.
Right.
And then I also like doing from the top down as opposed to bottom up.
Perverse people we.
I know.
That is so funny. Martin Story's the same way.
Mm.
And what a talented designer, Martin Story.
Mhm.
But no, it's all in pieces.
But here we are at Phrancko.com.
Because I'm okay with being a little off.
A hive of scum and villainy.
Well, the other thing I did on my sweater is I did the two sleeves at one time, on one, together. That was confusing because I kept on getting my yarn mixed up, occasionally, especially at the end, when I was doing the ribbing, and I just said, screw it, and just put those on, the same needle that I needed to be on, and that worked out just fine. But I was running out of yarn, so I had to do it. I was like, how long can I make this thing go?
Little yarn chicken.
Yeah, I won by a long shot, actually, but still won.
That's fun.
It took me like 5 tries to get it set up that way. It was crazy.
Sidra, are you I noticed you've got a pin. Are you Portuguese knitting?
I am, or sort of. I do my
I'm,
own version of it.
I'm teaching my partner. He couldn't get. I can only do Norwegian and throwing, or if I'm a flicker. So he tried both, couldn't get on with either of those. So we tried Portuguese, and he started to get into Portuguese knitting. So
Yeah.
there's a woman. There's a South American woman on the internet. Wang, is it?
Yep.
Something Wang.
Yeah, Andrea Wang.
Andrea Wang. That's right. She's really good. Really good videos.
Yeah.
Yes. And very nice. What a nice woman. I've purchased stuff from her website, and she'll send a little note in there.
Oh, that's nice.
Very, very nice woman.
I've had very little time to knit this week, so I've made almost no progress on my sweater. How are the rest of you coming on your projects?
Made a lot of progress on IKEA. Not a lot of progress on my knitting.
I think, I can't remember where I was last week, but I think I've done more.
Oh,
That's
pretty.
lovely, Susan.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
nice.
It's really nice.
Almost ready to divide. I've been measuring it up against other sweaters, and I'm going over to my daughter's tomorrow, and so then she can kind of hold it and help me decide. Because I have a tendency to, at this point, think, oh, I need another inch, and do another inch, and then they're too long here, and I'd like to make this one like actually fit. So I'm thinking, well, maybe if she kind of holds it and checks on it with me. But the lace yoke turned out really nice.
Yeah.
It's a lovely color. A lovely color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bright. And I tend not to wear bright clothes. And I took it to one of my knitting groups. And I said, is it too bright? And one of my friends said, oh, when you stand back, it's not. I thought, thank you, Vicki. Now I'm going to feel like
Trying to be nice.
hey.
That's funny.
Stand back. Just remember to stand back from everyone when you're wearing it.
No, that's a lovely color. It looks great on you.
No, it is beautiful, and I'm sure it'll
Stand
look great
close.
too.
Yeah. So anyway, I
That's funny.
figured that it's a good summer sweater. You know, it might be too bright for winter, but
Oh no, it'd be bright and cheery and
Yeah, right.
yeah, when it's all depressing or whatever.
Right. Maybe Arizona's not like that though. So
well, no, our winters are kind of like Michigan summers. So they're not so bad.
yeah. Well, I'm making a Phrancko now. Here's my knitter's confession. I ripped that lace thing out, and here I started the Phrancko. So this is much better. Much better.
Oh, you're doing the saddle shoulder, it looks like.
Right. This is because I found out the gauge is the same for the first one that I did. So that's very helpful.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Very good.
Yeah.
And I got pretty far, really. I'm surprised. So
Yeah, you're quite a ways along. I usually
yeah.
think the first part of it is the slowest part. You kind of past that, so
What do you call it? Anxiety knitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's in this, it got to 60 today, so that's nice. It was 39 here, I think, this morning.
Yeah.
This winter is so long too.
About what I've been doing.
Yeah. But things are looking up.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Right.
That's what they tell me. Well, it's funny, like a lot of houses up here, they don't come with air conditioning.
Well, do you need it?
I don't think so. Now, of course, I made them put air conditioning in my house, so I made sure I got it. But so far, I haven't, no, haven't needed it. And where I was coming from, which is funny, it's not that far away, but we had the air conditioning on before we moved in April,
Oh my gosh.
just because there was some really warm days. Nope, not here. So I am at the Phrancko part of the sweater where you're doing both things at the same time.
That is
And
the hard part.
And yeah, that's the part that I get through. And I'm going back and forth to my knit companion, which I find a very good way to keep track of the two things at the same time. And so I can put it down and pick it up and put it, and all I need to do is count how many stitches between my sleeve caps to find out where I'm at, which is really nice. I love Knit Companion for that.
I do too, but I actually have two iPads that I use. And if I pick up the other one, sometimes it doesn't sync right away. And so I've kind of like trying to put like a mark. I need to put a mark on one of them and say, okay, this is the one you use for Knit Companion, because it's kind of frustrating when you open it up and you know, okay, I know I wasn't on that row. And then
Yeah. Well, I only have one iPad, and it's the only thing I use on it pretty much. Well, I'm on my iPad all the time, but the only kind of application I use on the iPad is Knit Companion.
Well, I have an old one that the battery's gone and I can't use it for travels, but I kept it around, and it's really helpful for Knit Companion because I can use it plugged in,
Yep.
and that way I can do other things on my, like watch knitting videos while I'm knitting with the Knit Companion open.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that works.
You need to take the garbage out. Those turtles stink.
You heard that,
Sour
Ron.
cream turtles.
Oh,
Sour cream and turtle.
I got some gummy turtles. We went to the aquarium while we were in Chicago, and I got gummy turtles, and they stink. I don't know.
At least they don't stink like actual turtles.
They don't smell like turtles. No, they smell like sour cream. I don't know.
No.
Sour cream, that's weird.
It's lingering turtle gummies. Speaking of Chicago, this is what I'm working on right now. My sweater stayed home because we were trying to avoid checking any baggage. So I brought some yarn along, and I started doodling. So this up till here was this morning between Chicago and Denver.
Oh.
And I read between Denver and Bakersfield. But it just, I don't know, doing some kind of a subway tile slip stitch thing out of some leftover yarn that I had. Just a doodle. But hopefully this week I will get that sweater finished and
That's really nice.
make
I've been
something
making
else.
a shopping bag.
Oh, nice.
Shopping
I
bag.
got part of the handle, but I lost at yarn chicken, so now I'm gonna have to make like a pencil case or something to go with it.
Like a whole new thing.
Yep.
So you're knitting and
Yep.
not crocheting? Oh, very nice.
Taking a little break. It's good to do both.
Uh-huh. Very
Good to
good.
stay in practice.
Yeah. What yarn are you using for that?
This is
Coastal
Coastal Cotton by Queensland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's surprisingly cuddly and nice, and the texture of this, I would wear a garment made out of it. Like really.
Uh-huh. Yeah, nice. Pretty.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah, very nice.
Very pretty yarn.
Yeah. Coastal Cotton has been a big seller. People love it. It's
I was wanting to show how versatile it is by making a a bag, but now I want to make a garment out of it.
Well, we
Yeah,
got that extra.
that would be a cute top, even with that little eyelet pattern.
Yep.
Right.
What are you working on, Will?
I just started turning the heel of a sock, and it's a pattern that I've knit before, and I've shown other versions of it here before. Here it is.
Oh,
I like that.
yeah.
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect top.
Yeah, so toe up. Here's my catboardy toe.
Uh-huh.
And then there's 3 colors. I don't know if you can see. There's the
Yeah.
green, the red, and the blue little dots there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm using Amble by the Fiber Company.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's wool and alpaca and nylon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Does your yarn store sell that? Or you have to order it?
Well, no, I bought this. I think I bought this a year ago in the summer when I was visiting my brother and sister-in-law in Washington State. There was a shop up there near their home
Uh-huh.
where I bought this, and going up there again next month. And I thought, I should really use the yarn I bought last year, because if I do that, then I can buy more when I'm up there this year.
Will, can I ask you, you do a lot of colorwork socks, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Is there a compromise between, when you're doing colorwork, is there a compromise between doing colorwork and getting them to fit as opposed to like a single color?
Yeah.
Is there a compromise you make?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'd call it a compromise, but I make changes. So I use a bigger needle. I go up a needle size.
Yeah.
I'm a US 2 right now. And then I usually need more stitches than I would otherwise use.
But they haven't got the stretch, have they?
They do not. They don't have the stretch. So, usually when you're making a sock, you want it to be like an inch in circumference smaller than your actual foot circumference. If you're doing color stranded socks, you really want it to kind of match, because, if your foot's 10 inches around and your sock is 9 inches around, you may not be able to get that over your heel.
Yeah, that's what I meant about the compromise between the sizing.
But because the fabric is double thick, going up a needle size doesn't harm the durability of which is good, because you want a tight fabric so that it will last if you're wearing it around all day. But double thick, so you don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Cheers.
Yeah.
So I find yarn management when I'm doing Fair Isle or color work in small circumferences is really challenging. You do a lot of it, so you must have figured out how to handle all that.
I guess I don't have to think about it too much anymore. So I've got 3. Well, I cut them off now because I've started the heel, but a moment ago I had 3 strands attached, and maybe every inch or so I have to untangle them a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. And usually I'm just using 2 colors, and this pattern, it's only 2 at a time. The third color you use once every 8 rows or something like that, but you never have to use 3 colors in any one row. So that makes it a little easier too.
Yeah, I just it's a lot of yarn in a small space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody just recommended this. I think it's Chiaogu twist lace interchangeable for small circumference knitting. And one needle is shorter than the other, so that it's easier to hold the shorter needle on the left and the longer needle on the right, and do your color work this way, so that you don't have floats going over either double pointed or
Magic loop.
right, magic loop. And they said that this works better.
They
Yeah.
are. They're absolutely fantastic. I knit all my socks on them, and they're
Oh,
really, really
all of
good. Yeah, because you're not with Magic Loop. You're always moving the loop, or you're moving the other DPN. With those, you just go round, 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 and round. It's so much quicker, so much easier. It's really
And they said,
good.
they said that this somehow works. This difference in left and the right side.
It lets them have more cable and still enough leverage to knit well. Some of the short circumference ones have very small tips on both sides, which, depending on your knitting style, can make it difficult to get the leverage you need. I'm not lucky anyway with all the short ones. I wish I could use them, but I can fit like 1.5 fingers in.
That's how I am too.
I look like a trained gorilla. Not a particularly well-trained gorilla either.
So how long is that needle, Sung? How long is it with the cable on each end?
It's about 9 inch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the whole, just measure it. And they come, and I sized up. I mean, listening to you guys, it's 0 for main body, but you need to size up, like Will said, to get that foot.
So I guess if you were working toe up, you could start with DPNs or magic loop, and then when it's big enough, you switch to your 9-inch circular.
Or you start with DPNs or magic loop, and when you get to the color work, switch to this, and then switch back when you're done with the color work.
Right.
Like when you're doing just the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sung, I have a note to self. Ask Sung the name of the yarn she used in the cable sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Because I forgot to write it down.
Jody Long Chow.
Chow. Because wow, isn't that beautiful? Your work is beautiful.
Well, I did the one sleeve, and now I'm working on the other one.
Oh, nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So,
Looks so good. What is
Okay.
that pattern, Sung?
It's the petite knits, and it's called Dagmar Sweater Junior.
Tim may have to knit one of those as a sample.
Oh yeah, it's the size alone that gets you, but oh yeah.
What size needle are you using?
I'm using 6.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like a tight, gay, tight fabric. Yeah.
So could you just say the name of the pattern again, please?
Yes. It's petite knit, Dagmar Sweater, and it's junior size. There's a baby and adult.
Okay.
So 3.
I'll try and put it in the chat for us.
Thank you. And is the junior, does it cover any particular size? Is it just one size?
Oh, no. She's got 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sizes.
There's a
Thank you.
whole family of these. There's a zipper sweater, in a cardigan, an adult and a child size.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stick a link in the chat to the junior.
Oh, yeah. It's
Thank you.
I'd be interested in knowing what they do to produce all those different sizes in a cable sweater. Is there one section that just is wider or narrower? Or do they add extra cables in larger sizes?
It
That's
looks
a
like
good-
the motifs stay the same. There's like a large traveling twist that goes up the sides of a large center honeycomb panel. And it seems, looking at these different ones, the honeycomb panel just becomes wider, and there may be more edge stitches around
right.
the
Filler,
traveling.
like this filler, moss.
And then lots of filler.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
moss on the side is what grows, gets wider.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of them. Yowza.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Cindy would definitely already have this done by now.
Yes. We're counting on you, Ron and Cindy.
Okay.
And what was the fiber content of the yarn you used? Is it a superwash,
I
or
believe it's a 100% superwash.
Extra fine merino superwash.
Right. Oh, thank you.
I astounded every time we see it by just the dimension of those cables.
Yeah.
They look so good.
You should recommend to anybody who wants to knit a cable.
I will.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just did. Yeah, it really is exquisite. Cables are what got me started knitting years and years and years ago. My first sweater that I did with the Boston Women's Industrial Union, was a cable sweater.
Well, that appealed to me because it was small, and I thought I could do it for. I've got a little grandson now at 12 months, just coming up 12 months. Because I hate doing cables, hate them. But I thought a small one I could cope with.
Do your cables. It's good for you.
I'm having enough trouble with this lace. I must have frogged this sweater 10 times now.
What is it?
It's the Caitlin Hunter Stromboli. You can see that.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
Pretty.
Nice.
So I've now got. This is the 4th time I've got up to 5 pattern repeats.
Oh, very good.
Oh, it's just, I've had to put a note to myself, when you read the pattern, actually absorb it. Do you know what I mean? Oh, dear me. It's got what she calls, I don't know if you can see it I've got a smaller needle this size. So I don't know if you can see this. It's what she calls a knot stitch. So there it is. It's a knot stitch. This is what she calls this part of the pattern. And you do it on the 1st and the 5th row of the lace pattern. You do this knot stitch either side of a side seam. And for some reason, I did the knot stitch over these 12 stitches either side, every row. So I ended up with a rope going up the side of it, and so I know how to do a rope stitch now, if anybody ever wants to know. And I kept looking at this, and I kept thinking, this looks really very strange. It was all knot stitch everywhere else, but it didn't stop me, and I was just relentless. I just carried on. carried on knitting, and I was doing it with a friend who lives in Bakersfield actually, and we were doing a Zoom a few weeks ago, and she held it up to see how far we both were, and I said, mine doesn't look like yours. And she said, what? And I said, let me have a look at the sides, and it was an instant thing, like she said, well, it's just this knot, and I knew instantly what I'd done. Anyway, I tried to drop down the 12 stitches each side of the side seam. I tried to drop down these 27 stitches, which included the side seam stitches. It was just like spaghetti. 5 hours I spent trying to frog it. I thought I could have ripped it out, so I ripped it out. Then my knit companion didn't update, like somebody's just been mentioning. This is the second time I knit it, and I didn't even notice. So I started off on row 2 of the pattern, and I should have been on row 6. So I carried on, and then it started to look strange, and I'm not good. It's supposed to be a summer sweater. We've had the English heat wave now. It'll chuck it down. And it's still not finished. By the time I get this finished, this weather will break and it'll chuck it down till bloody October. Anyway.
We'll take you to blame the bad summer.
Sorry, yeah.
How many times in knitting and in life have we looked at something and gone, I'm sure that's not right, but I'll carry on anyway because it's going to be fine. It'll be fine. And you just carry on and on and on.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny, because I've never had Knit Companion not sync before or since that until this evening, and it did it again on me this evening. But that normally it syncs between. I've got an iPad Mini here, and just prior to me putting it on there, I was on this iPad and I knocked it off this to put the Zoom on, and it just updated instantly. And yet earlier this evening, it just wouldn't at all. So I don't know if it's just, I don't know if maybe you have to shut both of them down. Yeah, because that's what I did. I actually shut both of them down, and I opened Knit Companion up on my phone, and that came up on the right place. So I shut it off my phone, opened it back up on the iPad, and it synced. Otherwise, if I hadn't have had the horrendous experience I had a few weeks ago when I was on row 2 again, then I probably would have done exactly the same tonight, because you just trust it, don't you?
Oh,
you just trust. You do. You just trust it. But I think maybe that's the key. Shut both devices down, allow it to sync to the cloud, and then open one back up.
Yeah, and my Wi-Fi is not real good here at the house. I need to upgrade to the next pay level. I'm sure it will be better then.
Right.
Because I'm always getting a message that I'm not online, and then it'll pop back up saying I am.
Right. See, I'm used to that. I live very rurally. I mean, they're just one step up from carrier pigeons here, our internet. Do you know what I mean? It's bloody hell. But, it's like that. It's so frustrating, isn't it? When your internet doesn't work, we rely on it now.
I know. And so impatient.
Yeah.
Jenny, may I ask what you're working on?
I'm still plugging away on my cardigan for my husband. I'm on
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
It's so beautiful.
yeah, about
Oh,
four rows away from the armpits on the front. So I'm doing them both at the
Oh,
same time. Yeah. So, yeah. So we're
that's
nearly there,
just
and then I'll stop when I get to the armpits and start on the back. So yeah, it's coming.
that's
wow.
so impressive.
It
It
really,
is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And because I'm doing
Beautiful.
the intarsia, the back quite tidy as well. So yeah,
Oh, yes.
that's
Very
the back.
nice.
Yeah. So quite pleased. It's
That's
coming along.
fabulous.
Slow going, but it's coming along. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
well, we're right near the end. So who else has something to show us if you want?
What's Nick doing?
Oh, I was still doing my ends for my
Okay.
still weaving in ends.
Okay.
I have more here to prove that I've done them.
Let's see. Let's see.
Here are my ends that I've been doing today.
Hold up the garment again so we can just see how it's.
I've come to the point that I'm dividing for armholes, so we're
Oh,
That's just so fantastic.
Just
I don't know,
Nice.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice.
it's not focusing, but you know, that's where I am. I'm division of armholes, and I thought I'd do my ends before I started the next bit. So, and I'm not doing, I'm not duplicate stitching around the back and weaving in my ends. They're just getting threaded through my floats and just trapped, and it'll felt in the wash. I'm certainly not spending all the time trying to hide my ends.
You've dealt with enough ends.
Yeah, there's been enough of them.
Have we ever been this quiet?
Sure. What happened?
It's the portion we would start talking about what we wanted to eat.
Right.
That's right.
I've been watching Jamie Oliver lately. My cooking sucks, so I need work.
Yeah, I'd rather knit than cook.
Yeah, I hate cooking really.
So I do the bare minimum.
By the
Good
time you've
time.
thought about what you're going to buy, you go and buy it, you take it all off the shelves, you pay a fortune for it, you take it home, you unpack it, you put it all in the fridge, you take it all out the fridge, you cook it. After about cooking it, you think, oh, I don't want that anyway, really. Go off it.
Okay.
I'm really envious of those people who can plan their weekly menus. I think that's just amazing.
Oh, I always did that when I was working. I'm not as good about it now, but pretty much I know. I plan. I don't necessarily plan exactly what day, but before I go to the grocery store, I'll plan my next 7 to 10 days of meals and get everything I need for them. Because the other thing I don't enjoy is the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so,
Someone just needed to bring up food, and we've got another 45 minutes of conversation in us.
yeah,
And you know what? It's time to say goodbye.
we can all go cook our dinners.
You're a tease.
Enjoy your lovely meals.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Love to cook.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye, all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you all
Bye-bye.
for
Bye.
coming. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.